103.3 FM. Yes, we come bearing good news on the show this afternoon. Because it is here we go in the camp of Arsenal. Yes, talking about a much awaited striker for them. Yes, Victor Gyökeres is going to be an Arsenal player this season. Let's say hallelujah. Alright, good afternoon to you sports fans. Welcome to another Tuesday edition of iSports on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, the city of Ibadan. The voice of BIODUN, APENA, BIODUN Sport. It's good to be back on the dial once again to do what we know how to do on the show this afternoon. Yes, Euros 2025 are still going on in Switzerland, and today we've got one of the first semi-final kickoff between the Three Lioness and of course the Azuris women national team. And of course talking about Africa also, we've got the Super Falcons Mission X still very much possible against the Bayana of South Africa. And the host nation also, Morocco, will go on to host the Black Queens of Ghana later this night. But then the biggest one there as far as that game is concerned. I asked on the show this morning, who do you think is going to catch? So hopefully, we'll go on into that game and get the job done in the normal time. I'm not wishing for penalty. Penalty is a game of luck. I do not want the Super Falcons to play penalty in that game. But then South Africa, they've got fantastic player. They've got a brilliant manager. Talking about Dr. Desiree Ellis, who she's been talking tough that they are well prepared for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. But then Justin Madugu also is very much prepared. And of course, the girls also are well prepared going forward into that game. So all of these and many more we'll get to discuss on the show this afternoon. Once again, my name is BIODUN, APENA, BIODUN Sport. This one is dedicated to all Arsenal fans. And of course, I have one of them in the studio with me this afternoon. Yes, talking about Sport Princess. It's here we go for the camp of Arsenal because Victor Gyökeres is going to be the #1 striker for the Gunners. Alright, welcome once again. That is all we give the fan in the building, and of course the fan in the building, and of course the Sport Princess also the Arsenal fan and the mother of the gang. Sport Princess, good afternoon to you. There's a lot to actually watch. Gang, Sport Princess, good afternoon to you. There's a lot to actually watch out for today. As far as the world of football is concerned. Champions qualification also. As far as the world of football is concerned, Champions qualification also going down. But then we are not going towards that route. We've got AFCON semi-final kickoff between the Super Falcons and of course the South African national team. Tell me, I know you are really excited. And it was dragging on for so long, and then we're hearing a whole lot of news about Man United hijacking, a whole lot of clubs trying to enter the race, but already for me, I think Gyökeres is already a legend in my books because the amount of times he rejected Manchester United alone is actually something to actually applaud, honestly, because he wanted Arsenal from the start, and he kind of stuck to that. Because I remember somebody like Mukala Mudryk for Chelsea, he wanted Arsenal, and then he saw money, and then he changed his mind. But this guy stood firm, and he wanted Arsenal. So for me, he's already a legend. I'm super happy that we're finally getting the clinical striker that we've been craving for a while now. All the Arsenal fans, I would like to hear from you what you're feeling. Please call in. Yomi Kwasi, one of our favorite callers on the show. Please call in. Let me know how you're feeling, because I'm feeling. We dedicate part of this show to I know that for the to steal the joy. I'm still very bitter from that 3-0 victory at the Emirates last season. Well, I really want Arsenal to be successful. Yeah, we deserve to be successful because we are here to drag them. We are here to
Of course. Yeah, you're neutral to this situation, and you want, the banter once in a while. To at the end of the day, I'm super happy for us now. But I feel like we still need to do a lot more. Honestly, I feel like this is not just all that needs to be. So for me, Berechi Eze is probably the highest one on the list for Arsenal and for me as well. But I'm also hearing talks of Javi Simons, but I think Chelsea are probably going to be closing that one, because when Chelsea are to put the money on the table, not like my own club where we have to like drag and negotiate like that. So these are many more we get to talk about on the show, and of course Super Falcons of Nigeria facing.
I'm quite sure you are also still buzzing because Marcus Rashford
is he buzzing though?
Of course, because Marcus Rashford is a fantastic player. For me personally, I used to tell some people that Marcus Rashford is going to come into that Barcelona team as a big bargain for them, just like Real Madrid had a certain Toni Kroos back then. Toni Kroos was for that Real Madrid team. But then, Feromi, good afternoon to you. I know you are looking forward to the Super Falcons game also, but then you have the floor.
Yeah, good afternoon, BIODUN Sports. Good afternoon, Sports Princess. Good afternoon, Solomon. Good afternoon to our listeners and viewers out there. It's nice to be here once again. And yeah, the Nigerian Super Falcons game is it's going to be a really hard game for us, though. Hopefully, we make it as easy as the Zambian game was for us. But I don't know. I have my hopes high, and I also have. I'm trying to also say.
You have your doubts.
Let us just be on defense and let's see what it gives. And yeah, the Gyökeres due to Arsenal. I feel Arsenal fans have finally gotten new number 9. They've been craving for a whole lot of years. And one thing I also think it also adds the competitiveness back to the Premier League, brings all that. I feel I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and I told him that the Super League that a whole lot of teams were clamoring against is already here, and it's the English Premier League. Because if you look at the money involved, because we're talking about the Italians, teams they were spending, only Como has spent up to 15 million, and you come to the Premier League, you see Sunderland spending 99 million already.
Crazy.
But other teams combined in other leagues haven't even spent that amount. So like I said, this Gyökeres deal brings back the Super League feeling. The Premier League is going to rule Europe for a very long time. Maybe not win the Champions League consistently, but they are going to have a huge say on what goes on in Europe for a very, very long time.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Feromi. And if I'm to go by what Mikel Arteta, had to say concerning the English Premier League this season, he talked about the fact that 6 teams can actually go on to win the title. And if you look at how crazy some of these teams have been, very, very active in the transfer market, you definitely want to agree with Mikel Arteta. You talk about Chelsea. Chelsea, they look more like a dark horses that a whole lot of people, they are not looking towards the direction, but trust me, Chelsea is one of those teams that you need to be very, very careful when you go up against them. And of course, the regular fighters, when I mean fighters, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, definitely in that conversation with the signing of Victor Gyökeres, and of course Newcastle United are also Tottenham Hotspur with a new striker, and of course they've been doing some decent businesses also in the transfer market. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the English Premier League will pan out. But then I'm really looking forward to see what Manchester United will really want to see what Manchester United will also do, because last season was a torrid season for their fans and of course for the manager also. But then let's hear from the Manchester United man in here talking about Solo Sports. Solomon, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Nigerians. I hope all of you are doing fine, and a big congratulations to Arsenal fans.
Thank you.
I'm not happy at all.
Of course, you're not.
Of course. We're hoping for him to flop,
Yeah, he's not going to flop. He's not going to flop. Don't bank on it. Just don't hold your breath for too long.
He said you're hoping for him to flop.
He's not flopping. No. How many players have actually come to Arsenal to flop? Even Albert actually improved his numbers at Arsenal. So this is not Manchester United. This is not where you bring the likes of Antonio and then they end up just becoming worse. You get.
All right, there you have it from Solomon. Well, he wants Victor Gyökeres to actually flop at Arsenal, but then trust me, that young man is tasted, English football before. He played for
Coventry, Brighton,
City,
Swansea.
Brighton, Swansea. You know, these are English team also, and I'm very much proud that he's going to be playing for Arsenal, because Arsenal is a fantastic team with a fantastic manager also. Then, I'm just looking forward to how the season will pan out. I'm really excited for the English Premier League, because you are definitely going to see competitive football as usual. But then, Shaitis, the sales begins at home. Let's go talk about the WAFCON 2024 that involve the Super Falcons of Nigeria today by 5 p.m. But then you can also be part of the conversation by calling 0705 for 500 1033, or you call 09054 44 1033. Catch us live on Facebook also. Yes, this afternoon, I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Go drop your prediction. Yes, we want to hear from you. And of course, if you're an Arsenal fan, yes, get in here. Let's right, definitely it's time for Africa. It's time for the Super Falcons. As we look forward to that encounter by 5 p.m. today, yes, let's get into action. We saw the last game against some people who call them the Shipolopolo of Zambia, while some who prefer to call them the Copper Queen of Zambia. But prior to that game, we had a doubt that going into that game, the Super Falcons were going to struggle. But, they decided, to shame us going into that game. And they wallop, they demolish, they destroy, the Zambian national team. Not just 1-0, not 2-0, not 2-0, 5-0 against Zambia. And of course, if you look at all of the girls that turn up in that game, great time they had in that game. And I was really surprised that the likes of Rachel Kundinaji, Barbara Banda, this fantastic talent couldn't, turn up in that game. That shows the Super Falcons were really ready. They were determined to go into that game and get the job done. Hopefully, they will go on to replicate that kind of, performance that we saw against the Copper Queens of Zambia last week, Friday. And of course, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Let me start with the lady in our midst this afternoon, talking about a Sport Princess. And according to the manager had a lot to say, during the presser that, South Africa, no doubt. The last time we met South Africa was back in 2022. Yes, we were beaten 2-1. And if you look at our head-to-head also, Nigeria has actually won 15 times against South Africa. South Africa only defeated the Super Falcons just 4 times. So, if you look at the dominance over South Africa, is that huge, is that big that we shouldn't be struggling against South Africa, but then football has evolved over the years on the continent of Africa. You see the likes of Morocco, you see the likes of Tunisia, Algeria also, coming up with a good footballer, and they are already catching up with some of these African giants. You look at Black Stars of Ghana, the Black Queens of Ghana. At some point they struggle, but then it seems they are back in the reckoning once again. You talk about the likes of Senegal also going toe-to-toe with some of the big girls on the continent, but then as I said earlier, dominance is, well spelled out. 15-time winning over South Africa. But the last time we met, we were beaten by this same South African team 2-1. But the manager is saying we are very much confident that we'll go into this game and get the job done. Sport Princess, you've been of the opinion that the Super Falcons, they've not been convincing part to the game against Zambia. But going into this game, what are your expectations? Where do you think the Super Eagles, the Super Falcons, I beg to say, need to strengthen to get the needed result in this game against South Africa?
Well, it's really tough to say honestly, but I feel like I just have to put respect on their name, because they actually shocked me and surprised me with the performance that we saw against Zambia. That'll be the first time we'll be seeing that kind of performance from them throughout the entire competition. So going into Zambia, of course, I was not confident, but I think after the Zambia game, with what I've seen so far from the girls, the resilience they've shown, and the fact that they were clinical in front of goal as well. I think that is one point where I think we should be improving against South Africa, because I feel like almost all the chances they had against Zambia, they converted all of them because we had 7 shots on target, and then they converted 5 out of those ones. And of course, the Zambia goalkeeper of course made some saves as well. But I think South Africa is, just like you said, a little different story entirely, because we're rivals everywhere, even beyond sport and everything like that. So I feel like South Africa versus Nigeria, of course, you said we've dominated according to the stats that you told us. We've dominated at the but you just have to look at the fact that they are the defending champions.
Absolutely.
They've got a whole lot to prove. They're yet to kind of retain their throne and see if they can go all the way. But at the same time, I'm actually going into this one a little bit like with more confidence, honestly, because after what I saw against Zambia, I'm feeling more confident. If we can put the same performance or close to that, because I don't think there was anything wrong with performance that we saw against Zambia, because they locked down the likes of Rachel Kunjinaji and Barbara Banda, and so you just have to look at the fact that to keep those two, probably one of the like the best female footballer in Africa, in the continent, to shut her up and just make her not have. They had 0 shots on target throughout the entire game. So I think that is one thing that I will actually rely on, because our defense side or our defensive side has been, really, they've been really trustworthy. They've been really consistent. They are that's like one part of the, of the entire squad that I really rely on. And I think, we've not considered a go through the tournament. And I think that is another thing to look at. So I think it's going to be a close one, a familiar foe as usual. We have, trying to compete and see how this is like actually a very good way to go into the final, because I feel like we can. I know that if we can, be clinical in front of God, I feel like the opportunities are going to come, because I think I'm seeing a whole lot of technicality in our team now. I feel like it's not just because we are all known, like we're known to be physical. We know that the Super Falcons are physical, they are strong. They can defend and attack. But I've been seeing a whole lot of true balls, nice quality balls. The likes of Ajibade stepping up. So I'm super proud of them. But I feel like we have to be more clinical. Of course, the defense is not an issue. I feel like we've been solid defensively. We just have to stick to that and make sure we don't lose our heads, because of course it's South Africa. Of course you want to prove your point, but work together as a team. And I feel like I think I want to see the same lineup that we saw against Zambia.
Okay.
No need to make no changes. No need for surprises. I don't think Oshoala should be starting. I'm surprised I'm saying this, but I don't think she should be starting. I'm agreeing with Fenobi for the first time, because I already laughing there. I'm agreeing with Fenobi for the first time. So I think if you can, be clinical in front of goal and stay solid defensively, I think we'll have a great chance at beating South Africa, of course.
All right, well said from the Sport Princess. Well, looking at that, the starting lineup once again, I was really shocked when I saw, the starting lineup against Zambia. I was like, what is Justin Madugu doing? But then, eggs in our faces, and they won that game convincingly 5-0 against the Copper Queen starting lineup. But then some people were of the opinion that the likes of Deborah ABIODUN, of course, Alimoto Ainde, they've been very, solid. You look at how they combine well in the group phases also. But if it's not broken, don't fix it, because the actual starting lineup against Zambia gave us the 3 points and they scored 5 goals. So I think it's going to be insane for the manager to actually, tweak the starting lineup.
Of the Super Falcons was working in that particular game. There's clear there's nothing you need to change. We got what we wanted from that game, and we're also very clinical. We defended very well. We defended their counters very well. Their true balls. Nadozie was coming off our line to sweep all those type of things. So yes, there's nothing. Personally, I feel there's nothing you should be tweaking or say, okay, we have to do this. We have to do that. Just continue what works. That was our best game in the tournament.
Absolutely.
Imagine we scored 5 goals in that game, and we still even didn't consider against one of the fiercest attacks in the competition, the second best attacker in the competition. So I still don't know why there's any need to tweak anything. Just go with the starting 11 that we have and just keep on, except maybe injuries affect anyone. But for now, we have not heard any news about injuries. So just go with normal starting 11. That performance was a 5-star performance. I feel we marked 100 over 100 in every area, from the defense to the midfield to the attack. More players were involved. Alozie was more involved. Rashida Ajibade gave her best performance in the tournament. So yes, there's clearly nothing to be changing. and the number 9 starter, there's nothing there's no if you look at the whole performance, you cannot say okay, Nigeria should have done better in this particular aspect. Nigeria should have done better we defended very well, we controlled the midfield very well, we also played those balls into the 18-yard area very well. And one thing of the performance against Zambia was we used our area balls very well, because they were sort of weak in that aspect, so we kept on playing free kicks, corners, all those type of things. Always give them issues. We always had sort of a half chance whenever we played those high, but maybe we can try that again today, because I feel our attackers are also tall too. So yes, maybe we can also give that a try again today, but there's nothing that should be tweaked in this starting lineup.
All right, nothing that should be tweaked by Justin Madugu. Yes, going forward into that game, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, of course. So definitely hear from the manager after I hear from Solomon. Solomon, let's talk more about the Super Falcons. Earlier, I think it was late in the night, yesterday, there were reports that a certain Assistant Oshuala has actually announced a retirement. And early this morning also, I spoke to a colleague of mine who said all of that is not true. That Assistant Oshuala, after 5 years, we've not really seen enough from Assistant Oshuala. But if you ask me, do you think this is the perfect time for him to actually say goodbye to the Super Falcons and of course allow the younger ones to come into the team, or you feel she still have what it takes to play for the national team?
Personally, for me, I think it's time for her to leave the club. You can see them,
the national team.
You can see them playing very well with that, like her leading the attack. You can see the younger ones doing everything well. So I think it's time for us. I think she's already 30 years. She's 30 years old. So it's time to give the younger ones time to play and.
Okay, Sport Princess, let me come to you on that also, because usually we talk about footballers when they're on the other side of 30, 31, 32, and thereabout. We tend to always say, oh, it's so age. This is the perfect time for her to for him or her to actually retire. But if you consider the, what that kind of player still brings to the table, maybe the leadership, the experience, still need Assistant Oshuala. If you remember, was also part of that team. He didn't really play, much in terms of, the game of the Super Eagles, but it was very, very crucial in terms of his leadership in that team. Do you think we are definitely going to miss all of that? Should the NFF or the media actually pushed out Assistant Oshuala from the national team?
Well, I don't think pushing her out is actually the best way to go, because she has served the country well, and I'm not saying that because she has served the country she's from Nigeria. Why is this from Nigeria? Why? I feel like she has served the country. She's been so instrumental to whatever the Super Falcons of Nigeria has achieved so far in history. She will forever be remembered as one of the best players the Super Falcons has ever produced. So for me, I think it's really difficult for us to just say, oh, she's 30 now, she should not be called up. No, of course, her being in the team will not take up space. I'm saying, oh, because every year they need to give other people opportunity. I get that, but her just one space. Just occupying one space does not mean that Super Falcons are not going to achieve what they achieve. Sorry to know I'm not going to mention him, but there are other people that should not be making the squad. And Oshuala, as bad as she is, can still chip in goals when needed. She already scored one goal, although you can say it's a fluke, and she was shy in the position. I refuse to mention him. So for me, it is still a very biased something. Ahmed Musa is still making it to the Super Eagles team camp, and that's I was shocked to find out that Ahmed Musa is still the Super Eagles captain. Meanwhile, a Trust Ekong is the vice captain. I'm like, what is happening? So why is he still making it? He's well over 30. Why is he still there? So I think it's like a thing that because she's 30, she should just focus on every other thing. That is not fair. I feel like her being in the team right now is not taking up anybody's space. She still has the experience. She has been there and done it for Super Falcons of Nigeria, and everybody needs to put respect on her name.
All right, so definitely we need to put respect in the name of Assistant Oshuala. Yes, she's been the go-to player for the Super Falcons. Guys, let's go listen to the manager of the team talking about Justin Madugu as we look forward to the game.
So if the trend continues, automatically it means we are winning back the trophy this time around. Not just 6 games. 6 games with 6 W's. 6 games with 6 W's because we could still lose at the semi-final stage and still play a top place match, which still makes it 6. So the one I am talking about has a difference. This 6 is with W's, and you know what the W's mean. So we're doing our best. Yes, in every game there will always be pressure. There will always be pressure. The pressure of wanting to win, wanting to do well, and the opposition also comes with some extra pressure also, depending on who you are also playing against. So we are managing ourselves well, we are taking note of all that, and we're not allowing it to, distract us or cause any unsettle the team in any way. We want to remain focused, the girls are fully focused, and we all know what is at stake, and we know what to do, and we're trying our best to make sure that we make our country. If we do it together,
Super Falcons would definitely know themselves really well. The last time we met, were beaten 2-1. So this time around, more like a revenge for the Super Falcons. But then before we move on, let's talk about other women's team also that will be playing today. We spoke about Euro 2025 also still very much on. And we'll get to see the current champion, the 3 Lioness, and of course the Azuri national team, who are having a Cinderella run so far in this tournament. Yes, they'll be playing against England today, and of course Morocco against Ghana will go down the second semi. This will be a great opportunity for Sarina Wiegman, to go. This will be a great opportunity for Sarina Wiegman, to go on and win 3 European Championship with 2 countries, because in 2017 he won with the Netherlands, and of course England back in 2021, right? And of course this year also she's currently in the semi-final against the Azuris national team.
Yeah, I feel the Azuri's dream come to an end this particular night, because the English side have probably learned from the performance they put up against the Swedish side, that is the France side. Then they improved their next 2 games. So I doubt the Italian side, for sure they have pedigree and stuff, and they have attackers, they have midfielders, Caruso and co, who can also help push them. But I doubt the quality in that Italian side will be able to match up to the quality in the English side. And like I said, there has to be a whole lot of tricks in the English side, because Kira Welsh looks off it sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's going to be done though. But I still feel the attacking power of the English side is going to push them over the Italian side, and I think the English side will always create chances. But the only thing I could probably say that if the English side come out with the performance they put up in the first 25 minutes against the Swedish side, they are going to if Italy Euro 2024 final, like for the men, England versus Spain.
Okay, England versus Spain. That is what Feromi is looking forward to see at this Euros 2025. Well, Solomon, let's talk about the second semi-final in the WAFCON 2024, the host nation against the Nation. What is your own crystal ball telling you? Ghana to win or Morocco to progress to the final?
I think Morocco will progress to the final, because if you look at them, they are the host nation.
Yeah.
They are familiar with the stadiums, the environment, all the weather, everything is in their favor. So I think, and even the fans, because the fans will be plenty than that of the
absolutely,
Ghana. So
yes.
I think, and the confidence that we had, if we watch Nigeria versus Ivory Coast in the final, the last AFCON, you can see most of the people in the stadium there,
the Ivorian spectators.
Supporters. So these things too will be, I think the same thing will repeat itself in this match, because everybody wants to turn up and support the club, and it's actually the semi-final. People will be plenty. So I think it will be a little bit difficult for Ghana to progress to the final, and if they progress,
Well, we need to leave that on because of our time, because we still have one or two things to say concerning the transfer. But then before we drop, the women competition, quickly let me get your prediction. Yes, Sport Princess, Super Falcons, South Africa. Your prediction quickly.
I'll go 2-1 Super Falcons.
Fermi.
Yeah, I feel Super Falcons win 2-0.
2-0. All right. I love
not
that.
conceding.
I love that.
Confidence.
I love that. Solomon.
No, the answer is a 2-0.
2-0
2-0.
in favor of the Super Falcons,
Yeah.
right? All right. Well, hopefully, all of these prediction would come to pass. Be it 2-0 or 2-1. Win.
Win. I don't really care about the
maybe just enter final.
online, yeah.
Now the thing we would pray for. All right, guys, our time is really, running. We need to move straight to the transfer gossip right now. And of course, definitely, we're starting from the camp of Arsenal about Victor Gyökeres, the new man in town for the Gunners. Yes, this man, there have been talks about Manchester United hijacking the deal at some point, and there have been a lot of talks around him not joining. In fact, I saw a particular video that I don't know how, maybe AI, of course, we are in the era of AI.
Of course,
Victor Gyökeres was actually he was crawling. I was just laughing, but then Sport Princess, I know you are really excited right now, but then do you think first season for Victor Gyökeres, is he going to be the go-to man and the messiah? Because Arsenal fan seems to see this man as the messiah for the success to actually happen. Because honestly, for me, doing well in the transfer market doesn't necessarily translate to the fact that you will do well in the regular season.
Yeah, of course, I get it that just because you had a great time at Sporting Lisbon over in Portugal does not really mean that's going to do well. But there's actually a strong